Okay, I also started recording the session. So before getting into the session which we plan to discuss, I would like to also clarify some of the doubts asked by the users. So since they were asking about the YouTube links, because you can find in the introduction slide, you can find the YouTube playlist for this maintenance video. So when you open it, I hope you can open like this. Yeah. Yeah, you see the list of things based on the session with the session number, but also from the name you can identify which video you wanted to see. Currently there is no description for the videos, but maybe for the future I will definitely try to add some description so that you can also see what it exactly does. So what are the components available within this? So that is something I would like to discuss. And someone mentioned that the quality of the videos are not so good, but make sure you have good internet connection, because the YouTube, according to your connection, it changed the quality of the video. So for example, if you don't have a fast internet connection, obviously you will be assigned to very less quality, then you will have a problem to view it. So for example, I open this video. So in my case, I have 150 mbps connection, so it is much faster. So automatically the quality is assigned to 720p, whereas if you have a poor connection, it will be assigned to maybe 140. So I just show you a case where if it is assigned to 140, definitely your quality is going to be super poor, where you cannot even see anything. So also the same in case of 240, where you don't really see anything. As you see that you don't really see any words properly. So it is not the problem with the YouTube video, but it is the problem with the internet connection. Whereas if you view in the very high quality, you see things clearly. So I hope it clarifies the doubt, because most of the videos, I will definitely agree, the videos are not perfectly captured, but it is not really poor quality video, because you can at least try to identify things what it is. Of course, we consider to recapture to have this kind of noise in the video, because since we plan to do it just 2 weeks before the training, since we couldn't access our site, so we did these videos in hurry. So maybe for the future we will try to have the videos captured very well, and we also captured it from our phone. We don't have a special cameras to do that, so it was captured in our phone. And I hope and also for the processing, we tried to give the maximum quality, and we also added some of these um, subtitles, so in order to have everything visible and process them. I don't know if it reduce some of the quality, but for the future we will try to uh, give you a better quality video. But the main thing is make sure you have the quality which is the maximum in order to view the video. So if you don't really do that, because then you will have problem to view the file. And also another issue is um, when you see the video from directly from the slides, there can be also possibility that you view in the very low resolution. So you see that but in my case I see it perfectly fine, because automatically I'm assigned to the maximum quality. So yeah, it's up to your internet connection, but yeah, we will try to address this issue in the future. So for now, if this is clear, maybe I go to the session on the common issues and the troubleshooting. So yeah, anybody have some doubt on the previous session before we move to this session? Okay, I assume no. So, and I hope also everyone is here. Uh, Everyone is back after the break. So, before getting into the common issues, one of the common issue faced in our experience is the hard disk problem, because frequently due to the power interruption or power failure, there can be a possibility of hard disk failure. So that is something which we faced by many users in the Mesa, in the GMES Mesa project. So what we would like to say is the main thing is to maintain the UPS properly and replace the battery if needed, because after some years, let's say in 5 years, your UPS battery will be um, damaged or won't have a capacity to work in a normal condition. So you should replace the battery. If you don't replace the battery, then during the power fluctuation or during the power failure, you will have a problem with the PC, so which can affect the hard disk mainly, and your hard disk can easily fail. And so you have to check each time if the hard disk is in good condition. So in this case study, we will see how to maintain your hard disk, which is also indirectly related to the UPS. So that we can see in this. So the main idea is we have a two hard disk. As I mentioned before, the two hard disk is redundant with the same information, same contents. So in case of failure of one hard disk, the other uh, work perfectly fine. But you have to identify the failed hard disk and then replace it, or you will have a chance that both the hard disk or failed, and you cannot access the PC, and it will be a burden. And you will also miss a lot of data during the period you take to replace the battery and then have the e-station working. So apart from the physical damage of hard disk, there is also a problem in the right configuration. So when you replace the hard disk, you should be careful to create a proper volume, because apart from the physical configuration, there is also a configuration you have to do in order to make both the hard disk compliant in this particular write one configuration, which is a mirroring of the contents within the hard disk. So this is something you have to keep in mind. So someone has some doubt? Yeah, yeah, I was explaining about that regarding the YouTube. So it should be because of the internet connection. So maybe what you could do is, before uh, viewing the YouTube videos, just select the high quality 720p and then pass your video, so that it buffer that particular part, and then you can later on view the file, later on view the video, so that you see the video in the very high quality. Because from our side, we totally believe that the videos available are not really a poor quality, but it is good for the understanding purpose. Like you see, if you have a good internet connection, you will be able to see these kind of clear words. So of course, we are since we are not expert in capturing videos or doing it, and due to the short period of time, we try to do our best to capture this video feasibly, but yeah, it is not really highly processed. So make sure you have a good internet connection. So as I mentioned before, the problem with the hard disk is you see that there is the disk 0 and disk 1. So this can be identified when you plug in the hard disk. So there is a wire connecting the hard disk to the motherboard, where you see there is written a disk 0 and disk 1. So this will be useful to identify which is the hard disk. So for example, here you see that in the right configuration it displayed that there is the ID, which is 0 and 1. So disk 0 and disk 1, and then the status. So here you see that it is not really in good condition, because there is the member type. One of them is a member disk 0, and another one is non-write disk. So which means that you replace the hard disk now, but you have to do the configuration in order to make it work. So this is what you see in these two pictures here. So if anyone has the doubt related to the hard disk, please let me know. So because this is a common problem you face when you maintain the Mesa station, to replace the battery, because replace the disk. So let us know if you have some doubt. So let me describe the problem. So as I mentioned before, when you do the maintenance, you find one of your hard disk is broken or not working, so you need to replace them. So here we will see how you are going to replace it, and then what are the things you have to follow when after you replace the hard disk. So you shut down the PC. Of course, yeah, if you have to buy a new hard disk, that is identical hard disk of 1 TB, and then replace as given in this video. So let's go to the video. So yeah, in this video you see that there is two different hard disks. So I didn't try to explain you how to open this uh, cabinet, but I hope it is not very difficult. So there is a clip to open the side portion of the CPU, from which you can see this view, and make sure to shut down your PC, and also unplug the socket from yeah, unplug the things from the socket, so that you are ready to replace your hard disk. So you see there is two different hard disks connected to the motherboard, and here in this part you will see if it is a disk 1 or disk 2, to identify which disk is faulty or which disk is in trouble. So in this case, in this way, you can identify which is the correct disk. So after you identify, you can also disconnect it. So yes, you see here, you see it is disconnected. So SATA 1 in this case is disconnected. So after you disconnect, you see that you don't see ID 1 available here. So that is clear that from the previous slide picture, we saw that uh, that particular hard disk has no write configuration, which means that that is the faulty disk, and you are going to remove it, and then replace with the identical hard disk, mainly the size of the hard disk. So that is 1 TB. And yeah, once you see the screen, you will know that what you did is fine. Then you can proceed with the replacing the battery. So how you can remove it? So we removed the one of sorry, I'm just confusing with the words. It is the hard disk, not the battery, of course. And we replace the hard disk. Now make sure that you clip it properly in the stand, because otherwise you might face some issue. Then plug in the wire of disk 1 to the hard disk as shown here. And yeah, here we just try to switch on, but better you close the cabinet before you switch in. So now you see that once you start the computer, you will see that in the physical device you will see the id, the disk 1, which is a bit different from the previous one, because generally you will have a identical hard disk also from the same company, so you might see something same, but here it is a different company hard disk, let's say, but it has the same size. And you will also notice that there is no write disk or no write configuration. So this is something which we have to configure. So you click on you automatically redirected to the this configuration utility, where it mentions that the degraded volume is detected, because if there is no write volume, it automatically pop up this window, says that your volume or the hard disk is available for rebuilding. So which means that the volume is already created, but physically there is no uh, component to do that. So now you select the disk which you inserted now, and then proceed for the mirroring of the write configuration. So once you're done, exit, and it automatically do the procedure of the write configuration. So it tries to mirror from one hard disk to the another, so which you don't see it here. So you don't it is, since it's a parallel operation, so since one of the hard disk is working, you don't see the status, but you can check the status by launching the command line tool. So that is what going to be described now. So here you see that in order to check the write status, you can go you can do the super user do etc init d task check and write status, where you will be notified what is the status of rebuilding. So in this case it is 0% complete, but it is going to take a while. So you have to wait to see if the status is active, degraded, recovering, and what is the percentage of completion of the configuration. So once it is 100%, which means that both the hard disk are mirrored with the same contents, which means that you are in a stable condition. So this is about the replacement of disk, and which is a common problem faced by many of the users. So I hope it is clear. Any doubts on this one, on replacing the disk? Because also yesterday there were some question on this one, so I was mentioning that we will discuss today about this in the replacement of disk, and how to check if um, the configuration is going on. So I hope it is clear. Yeah, good. So I hope also for others it is clear. So this is a very common problem, because of the frequent power failure, you will have a problem with hard disk. So this is how you have to replace the hard disk, how to identify which hard disk is faulty, and then how to replace it, and then how to proceed in configuring, mirroring the same configuration, copying back the file from one hard disk to another. So in case of both hard disk failure, what you have to do is you have to replace both the things, and then install completely the ESO from the scratch, so which is even more a big task. And we already saw how to install the PC from the scratch. So this is a combination of two different tasks. So you replace till here, but you don't switch on anything because there is no OS installed. So you need to check the session 2 where we did the installation procedure. So you directly insert the USB, prepare the USB, and then insert it, and then install the PC which you want to install, and then you have the machine working. So this is about the first case study. So I hope it is clear, and also the thank you. Hope it's clear.
And DJ, thanks a lot for the good presentation. If I can just comment a couple of things. So in the video, we actually unplugged the disk in order to simulate a failure in the beginning. In order to do a meaningful test, we wanted to simulate the situation where one of the disks is not reachable by the OS. And you see this slide, this view you presented in the beginning of the video, where it does say that in the video, when it does say that only one is not before that one. When you see only one of them.
Okay, in the video.
The video, yeah. So we cannot really add that one, yeah. So you see here there is the disk. That is the slide, the point I was referring to. So you switch on the computer and you see that there is only one physical disk. The volume as logical entity is still there, is in degraded mode because only one of the physical disk is there. In order to create this condition, we cannot really break the disk physically. So what we decided to do is we disconnect it. So we disconnected both the cable of the data connection, SATA 1, and the power supply. So these are 3 cables, a bit thicker. This was for us to simulate a situation you can see where one of the disks is not accessible, so the volume is degraded and there is only a physical disk accessible. And then you don't have to do that, reproduce that in the field. You will see maybe this situation, and so this just a small clarification. Another clarification is about the brand. There was a question on that. As you see here, we have ST. I think is SGS Thompson, a manufacturer, and the new one, that one is Western Digital Corporation. So completely different brand. Doesn't really care. I mean, if they have the correct size, that's fine to replace them with different brands. So this also to answer a question which was in the chat before. And as for ID 0 and ID 1, we indicated them, in one of the picture, the one at the beginning of the presentation, referring to the location, top and down. I don't think this can be final. In the disk 0 and disk 1. I don't think you have really to look at the location only, but also how they are connected. You see these two, at least only one now, thin black cable going leftwards. These connect on the motherboard to the SATA 0. So this is disk 0. And the one on the bottom one, which is now disconnected, does go to the connection which is marked on the motherboard as SATA 1. So this is the way you can really identify. So from the menu you see there, you see the ID, and the ID corresponds to the SATA connector. So say that if you find that only one is working and the other one is broken, then you will ask yourself a question, which one is broken? And you have to look at these connections. So if the ID is of a broken one, of a missing one is 1, you have to disconnect the one which is connected to SATA 1. So that's a bit the remarks about this presentation. And the final one is that we suggest you to run from time to time this Thales script task that was indicated also by Vijay at some point in the end of a presentation of a video. Because maybe if you don't switch off and on the computer, you will not be able to see the status. But this task check ride bash script prepared by Thales Alenia Space will tell you about the status of a disk. So now you see that in our case, at the end of the procedure, the physical volume MD126 is active, is in degraded mode because we just replaced the disk, but is recovering. So meaning that the contents of disk 0 is now being mirrored to the newly replaced disk 1. So that's a couple just of remarks on that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Marco. So if there is no other doubt, maybe we go to the second common issue, which is faced by the users. So yeah, generally what happens is when people try to download the data from the data management tab, where you can fill the missing data, they cannot see the data management tab. It is just blank. So how to rectify it? So that is the problem here, and we will see how to rectify it. This is actually not really a big problem, but most of the people face this frequently because of the the picture PNG available within the local file system. So before you proceed with the solution, it is also good you check the log file if the problem is something related to that, and then proceed to remove the files from the directory what is going to be mentioned in the second video. So in the first video I will show when you see something strange, it is not applicable to this kind of issue, but any kind of user interface problem or any kind of e-station problem, it is good to check the Apache error log, because this is something which I commonly ask from the user to send me, because from this we can identify what is the kind of problem they're facing. So here I try to explain how you can check the Apache log file. So generally, by heart, of course, nobody will remember the Apache log file. So it is better to locate error my underscore log. So when you do the locate underscore log, you will identify the Apache error log. Generally, in this case, it is here. So once you are there, so oops, so you just do the tail minus 50 and then the path of the log file. Yeah, so once you see that, once you do that, you see the final part of the error. Just try to reload the data management and then try to check this log file. You will see that the error is because of the database query error, which is not related to that one, but here there is a none type of the object which is obtained. So the last part of the code is actually the error here in the data management. So this is mainly caused because of um, the JSON available in the eStation configuration. So we always ask the user to clear the Apache, check the Apache log file, and then clear this particular folder which you're going to see here. So you see that you don't see the data management tab, so it is empty. So what you do is of course check the log file if needed, otherwise remove all the contents within this eStation2 completeness underscore bar, so that you clear this JSON list and the PNG, so that it will be regenerated, because sometimes there is a problem that the files within it are corrupted, so you don't see this data management tab. So once you remove it and when you refresh it, you will be able to see the data management tab with a list of products. Of course, it is taking more time because it has to recreate all these PNG and JSON list, and it will display the result. So once you have the result, in order to download the data, download the missing data, you can go here and then try to download it from this download button. And also, yeah, the important thing is you remove the completeness bar. Okay, so this is another common issue faced by most of the user when the data management tab is not visible. So, and also for some other issues, it is better you check the Apache log file, or when you write us, you just also send us the final screenshot of the Apache log file, so that it will be also easier for us to understand what is the problem and then immediately to give the solution for it. So this is how we work when we do the troubleshooting, or when we try to support the user with the problems. So I hope it is clear. It is not really difficult task. You just need to remove the a list of JSON and PNG file from that particular folder, then things are fine. So another common issue is LAN connection problem.
Yeah, sorry, Vijay, to interrupt you.
Yeah.
On this, I don't know if any of the user online now they face this issue of data management, because we've been reported it, I think, a number of times, maybe 5-6 times. So, well, I say that just to explain it a bit more in detail. This bar that you have seen, they represent I see that Pilane, for instance, has seen this problem. The bar that you see, that completeness bar, they are based on the contents of the file system, these bars. So they show for each of the data sets, and we're speaking about hundreds of products, where the products are missing and where they are present. And in order to create them, the service has to go to the file system and go through thousands and thousands of files. So doing it on the fly will make the visualization very, very slow, which we do not want. So we implemented it by using kind of caching mechanism. So there is a service which updates these bars, which are in the file system as JSON and also PNG. So the PNG is what really then is included into the user interface. And we modify, refresh these bars only if in the corresponding directory there is a file that are more recent than the PNG itself and the JSON itself. So this is to make it more efficient, and in order to save resources, CPU time, and also in the visualization to have it faster. So this is all good. The point is that if one of these files, which are frequently read and written, it goes corrupted, that single file is able to block everything, the full visualization of this page. And that is what you see, that the page is fully empty. So when you see the page fully empty, you can go directly to deleting the contents of a directory. So you might think I will identify which file is corrupted, but this is very long. It is not very worthwhile to go to this type of debugging. You just, as Vijay is showing, you just remove the full contents. everything is going to be recreated. It's going to take 3, 4, 5 minutes, I don't know. But in any case, that's the simplest and quickest way to clean all this cache and to be able to regenerate it and to proceed. Then going to the Apache is another activity of debugging, which can be interesting. Is not strictly necessary because we have seen that if the page is empty, it's because of this problem. There cannot be any other reason that all the other pages are displaying and this single page is not displaying. For sure, is going to be that problem. So checking the log file is an additional thing. It's not gonna to help you a lot because there is no clear message saying the completeness bar are corrupted. This is really a technical message on the fact that it cannot deal with a non-object because was not able to read the file. Just to say that if you see the issue, you can immediately clean this directory and recreate everything. Looking at the log file of Apache can be relevant. Is something that, as Vijay said, is important also for other type of debugging. Every time you have a problem with the user interface, well, what we do is that we look at this Apache log file because a problem in the user interface is reported by Apache into this log file. So this in itself is something which can be also useful in other cases and is the reason why we decide to present it in this session.
Yeah. Okay. So if it is fine, I can proceed with the next problem, which is the LAN connection problem. Is it fine? Or maybe I guess this part. Okay, changing to default. So the another common problem is connection to the LAN, because we face most of the time the PC is not reachable to the UPS, or UPS is not reachable. So this is another big problem when you want to reinstall, or also when you wanted the UPS to work, it is necessary that it has to be reachable from all the three PCs. So here if you find a different kind of the default LAN configuration is this one. So you see that all these PCs have a unique IP and it has to be the same. So if you want to change, it is not recommended unless you for some proxy setting, or in order to have the IPs which is very similar to your institution stuff, you can do the change. But it is good to keep things in a proper shape, because you see in this case all these three LANs are in a good condition, good shape, but here it is a different IP. So here we are going to show how you could change the IPs to the default one. So if by mistake you change the IP and you wanted to revert it back, this video is going to give you the idea how you could do that. So this is a common issue. We ask the user to reset the IPs of all the PCs. So in many of the cases, this is applicable. So also before you install some of the things, if the UPS is not reachable, we ask you to reset the IPs and then to proceed with the installation of the thing. So in order to do so, you can check the IP login and then check the ifconfig to see the IPs on, or also from the host file you could check the IPs of all the PCs and the UPS available. So here you see here, yeah. So in order to change the IPs to, let me stop there. In order to do the factory reset, you have to log in as root, of course, from the PC in which you want to reset, and then go to the system, Mesa Puma, then the IP configuration, and then IP factory reset. So this is the option you have to select in order to do the reset of the IP. So it asks for the confirmation and then give the root password, which is available in the introduction slide. Yeah, then it does a number of things to put back the IPs to the default one. So you see that all the IPs are changed to the normal configuration, which is 192.168.0.153 in case of PC3. So this is the easiest way to put all your IPs back to the default one. So this is a common thing we instruct the user or instruct the people to do. So when we ask you to do, maybe we will refer you to this video, or you could also follow this YouTube channel to identify this particular video, which is very useful. So is there any doubt on this one, on changing the PC's IP to the default one? So basically you reset the IPs back to the default Mesa station configuration. So this is about this. Here, yeah, there is a lot of cases when you have to do this, but yeah, some of the cases which I mentioned before, but there can be more than one case to do this option. So
yeah, Vijay, if I can add something on that, this case is also present in the Telespazio Administration Manual, which provides a number of good instructions in order to take care of a station. And it's correctly mentioned there that you can end up in a situation when you have incoherent IPs, meaning that they belong to different subnetwork. So in that case, you cannot really, due to the net mask you define, you cannot really communicate with the other computers or with the UPS. So one of the maybe the most common situation that will cause this problem is that you launch, as we have seen yesterday from PC3, the other routine to change the IPs, and that one does, for any reason, does not go correctly to the end. So the IPs are changed on some machines to the new subnetwork and new addresses, but not on other elements, so maybe the UPS and another PC. The situation is very difficult to deal with, because at this point you cannot launch again. You can try and launch again, changing the IP from the user interface of Telespazio, but it's not going to work, because some of the one with the updated IPs are not reachable anymore. So when you are in this conflicting situation, which was also displayed in the slide, it's a bit difficult to correct it, because that routine, which does all these beautiful things of updating a number of configuration files and so on, cannot deal indeed with the situation when some PCs are not reachable, obviously. So what we suggest, and also Telespazio suggested in the administration manual, is that when you are in this messy situation, you just go back to the default IPs of the station, which were presented also yesterday in the introduction, are these 192.168.0.150 something. And in order to do so, you activate the command that Jurian displayed now on all the PCs. With respect to the other procedure, which is triggered from PC3, and it works on all the computers, this going back to the default of the factory setting, this has to be done on the 3 PCs independently, because that one is a local routine which works only on the machine where you activate it, also because the other ones maybe are not reachable. So you go back to the default situation by activating this command of the 3 computers, by following another procedure on the UPS that Vijay now is about to display. At this point, you are back to default. You can again try and change the IPs by the standard procedure that has been displayed yesterday. So this is how we suggest to deal with this situation.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any doubts in this part of changing the IP back to the default one?
I just want to add a comment for the end user.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know how it is your PC1 there, because okay, I never traveled to. I haven't seen. I suppose it is like here, but for example, here we have 2 network cards in the PC1. Do you have that? Marco, do you have it?
No. We have a single network card, only one.
Yeah.
Only one. Okay. Okay. This is okay. I don't know. We have 2, but I don't think because somebody from here put it another one there. I don't know. But just to let you know, if you are in this situation, you may have problems sometime to connect to PC1, because when you install and reboot, or even, okay, it is like a race condition, who is taking the IP of the network card, yeah? And then if the LAN card, okay, you have 2 options, yeah, at the end. If the LAN cable from the, let's say, from the switch is going to the, to one of the network card, yeah, to the PC1, and you see when you do ping from the PC2 or PC3, is not connected. You see, it's nothing, and you see what is this, because it's connected, yeah, and you see also blinking there, but in fact, it is because the IP, which is 151 at the end, it is assigned to the other network card. This is you just to, I mean, if you have a PC1 with 2 network cards inside. That is my comment.
Okay. Good. So we proceed with the next issue. Yeah, this changing the UPS network parameter. So Marco, do you want to explain this, because this part?
Yeah, thank
because I didn't give the subtitles for this. So
yeah.
it's better,
So, if you stop it a bit, thanks. Here is how we change back to the default the IP of the UPS. In the manual of the administration, manual of the Mesa station done by Telespazio, there is another procedure which is from the command line. You can run some commands from the command line, but I think this is really the simplest way, because you know, you have this small panel on top of a UPS, and you can navigate through the menus, and you go to the setting of the. You can start it, Vijay. So you see you have it's very basic. Yeah, maybe stop it. Very basic interface. You have 4 arrows. One is the enter. So on the right side you have up and down to go through the menus. Then you have an ESC and an enter. So it's kind of very simple. So what you have to reach is indeed the configuration parameters of the network. So now we play it. You go to Yeah, you have to, well, you have to enter, you have a different, no, maybe now is already a bit too late, because the first things you have to enter is the configuration, because you have a control, you have different, starting from the, start please from the beginning, so that, okay, so yeah, you have status, you have a control, you have configuration, perfect. So the first thing you have to reach configuration. Then you scroll down, you have plenty of options, you see, and you reach that one, config of the network management card, I think. So basically we can add maybe in the slide a bit more information, but you basically go to the configuration, go to the config NMC, so just two different levels, not so many. And then when you continue, now you enter it, when you find this config NCM, you go down and you find where the IP is indicated. You select it, so you select the first digit, yeah, and just go up one. So you go to 192, that's okay, okay. So not really many changes. And you have to click enter a number of times again in order to go through all the different options. And after the third time you click the enter, is rebooting. So you see, now that one is rebooting. Well, indeed, I think this video definitely needs some comments here and there, but it's not that complicated. You just, from status control and configuration, you enter configuration option. You have a long number of different parameters, and then is the NMC network management card to be configured. And there you have all the parameters, the basic parameter of the LAN setting, so the IP itself, the mask, and you modify what actually you need to modify.
Yep. Okay, thanks, Marco. And also, in this, since you're seeing the UPS, I would like to add something on the problem. So you see that this the fourth lamp, LED lamp blinking, which indicates that you have to replace your battery. So we also have this problem, but since we don't have a power failure, we didn't replace it yet. But when you see this lamp blinking here, it says that you have to replace the battery, as I mentioned before. So this also give you the idea of how the UPS is working. So I remember someone asked about this in the previous session, so that is why I wanted to mention about this. So I hope it is clear. Any doubts on this one? On changing different things to change the IP, the LAN problem for the LAN problem, how to change the IPs to the default configuration, and also how to change the UPS IP. So yeah, this is about it. So if it is clear, maybe we can move to the next common problem. Yeah, I hope there is no doubt. Okay, so the another problem is, as I mentioned before in the session, the last part of the session 2, after the installation, there is the automatic upgrade of the eStation software, which is sent to the Mesa station via UMATcast. But if you don't follow, or if you are not in the list of the user system administrator who receive this notification before we disseminate the updates, you may not be notified, and you end up not installing the latest eStation software. So if you missed it, here we show how you can do it manually. So that is the thing. So I see a number of questions. Yeah, okay, okay. Marco wrote about the battery model. Okay, good to know. So this is about the e-station manual upgrade. Yeah. So also while discussing, maybe we could also check how you can download the latest version of e-station software. So generally we ask our user to download it from our SFTP server. But also in the session 2, I mentioned that if you have received it and if it is not installed, it will be available in the data folder, data patch, and then the temporary folder. So in the session 2, in the last slide, I mentioned if you have received and not installed, then you find it there. So you can also take it from there. If not, you can download it from our SFTP server manually and then make it available in the Mesa station, and then to install the latest update one by one. So that is what we are going to see in these slides. So the first initial video is how you get the latest updates from the JRC SFTP server. So this is the Windows SFTP FTP client, which I used to show, but you can use any of the FTP client to download the software. So there is also a possibility you can directly connect our SFTP server from the Mesa station if you have an internet connection. So I assume in this video we try to show you the case where your Mesa station is not connected with the internet. So you download the latest version of the software separately and then make it available in the Mesa station with a USB or something, and then do the installation. So the credentials of the SFTP software SFTP is given in the training document, that is in the introduction slide. I gave the credential of the software. So there is the host and then the username and then the password. So once you open, you have to navigate to this particular folder mentioned below, which is /narma estation2 and ISO and CentOS underscore 6.6 and then the RPM. So when you go there, you find a list of RPMs, but in the future we will try to remove all the old RPMs and then make available only the latest RPMs latest RPMs listed. So there the latest version is 2.2.0. So we ask you to copy that to the file system, and in specific here maybe this one can be misleading because you see more than 3 packages, but also we will rectify it. So you copy the 3 packages, which is the apps, layers, and documents. Generally you will see only 3 packages within this folder, so you just copy those three packages and then keep it ready. So in the next slide we will see how to make it available in the Mesa station. So once you have the data, copy it in the desktop of the PC in which you want to install, and make sure that you copy these 3 packages, namely apps, documents, and layers. So it is named as follows: this eStation2 minus layers in case of layers package, and apps in case of application package, and docs in for document package. So and followed by the version number. So in this case it is 2.2.0. So that is what mentioned there, and then the release number and then the RPM. So that is how the naming of the packages or design. So once you have it in the desktop, you can easily double click on it in order to install them. So it asks you whether you want to run it directly and install. So you can install it, and it asks you for the root password to install the packages. So once it takes some minutes to install. So especially in case of the application package, it is going to take several minutes to install, because it has to do a number of things also to populate the database and things. So it is important to note that here, for the video purpose, we didn't show um, the complete installation procedure. So after you give the root password, it install the software, and you can also check the log files after this installation. So in order to check it during the installation procedure, in the session 2.3, I mentioned how to check the log file. So you can directly go there and then also check the log file after installing these packages. So you have to install each of the packages separately. So maybe I also go to the session 2 to show you what you do after the installation. So once you manually install this package, you can uh, go and check this yeah, the log file. So here, so you go to the var log station, and then you can check on these the the install packages, because maybe in your case you might also see the other version. So make sure you see the latest version, because as I mentioned before, the naming is designed in such a way that station minus apps for the application package, docs for the document package, and followed by the version of the station updates, followed by other information. So in this case, the first file is the post installation.error and post installation log. So it is necessary to check the log file each time after you install the updates, even though if it is um, yeah, if it is a manual or automatic thing. Generally, in automatic case, it shouldn't be a problem, but it's better to check if you see something strange on the station dashboard, or when you work on the station, if you find something strange immediately after the upgrade, it is better to check the log file so that you get the idea what happened to the latest update. So this is how you can do that. Yeah, so this is about the manual installation of RPM. So this is a very common step we ask all our user to do, because most of them would have missed the communication or missed to click on OK to install the automatic updation. So this is for them. Mm, we are procuring one of the stations. Cannot procure. Okay, this is some information Marco mentioned in the chat. So if this is clear, then we can go to the next step. So just let me know if you want to go to the next step, which will be continued by Simona. But before this, if you have some doubts, please feel free to raise your doubt. Is it clear? Because this is also a common thing which we ask our user to do. So manual installation of RPMs, because in most of the cases they miss the manual update. But we will take care in the future to inform the system administrator. And also, if you are a system administrator, we cross check with our mailing list if you have given your ID. So we assume all the participant here um, or the system administrator, and you receive this kind of email before we send the update. So if you have not received the email before the updates in the past year, please feel free to ping us or write us so that we can add you in the mailing list, so that during the next time, during our next update, you don't miss the information, and also you don't miss the software installation. So this will be useful for us to keep track of this. Okay, I hope there is no doubt on this. So I give the floor to Simona, who is going to continue with this fifth common issue, which is the data not received on the PC1. So Simona, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay. So one of the common issue on the PC1 is with no receiving signal, in fact, because the signal is not received on the DVB card, let's say. This is the most common. It could be sometime when it's hangs somewhere between DVB card and telecast, yeah, because the DVB card after that through interface is pushing the signal, the data, to the interface where the telecast is reading the data. Of course, helped by the EQ. So these are somewhere together, telecast and the EQ, the dongle, as you said. So if you do the command as root, okay, I'm usually doing all the thing as root in a terminal FEMON in the command in the terminal. You do not have the last column, which is column we call column number 5, which this character has lock, which means is locked to the satellite. Yeah, is nothing there. Is nothing there. And you think, what is this? Is DVB card? Because it is all. You have to think of all the stuff which is coming from outside, like DVB card. When you do the another thing, when you do payment -H and then you add something just to show you the first lines. This is what is going out from the card, from the DVB card. It's not what is entered in the DVB card, yeah, because it's entered the input and it's going out. So this, sorry, it show you what is going out from the DVB card, and you don't have this column number 5 has lock, and it could be because the situation is tricky. It's not coming from only one thing. Yeah, it could be the DVB card, as I said, half broken. It could be the cable itself has losses and is damaged. The cable between the LNB and then right into the DVB card. It could be LNB, but very rarely I've seen that. And of course, antenna is depointing, so it's not locked to the satellite. Yeah, you can have, when you do another situation, you can have this. So this, you do not receive anything, absolutely nothing. When you do not have anything, this column doesn't exist, in fact. Yeah, you can have the other situation when you do the FEMON -H and so on. You can have this column, but it's flipping. It sometimes has lock, sometimes it's not lock. It's like this. And the other, the previous column, uncorrectable and bare, instead to be 0, there it's you see a number in a random way, like this. And this means clearly when you have also this column 5 as flipping from has lock, not lock, like something like that, and the other uncorrectable and so on, this is not a DVB card. This is antenna depointing, and also you have to check the voltage on the cable. Yeah, a satellite expert should do that, because you need tools. It's not like I don't know. Is nothing to install, is nothing to run a command, is nothing about that. You have tools to measure the voltage, to see the signal, and so on. So, because it is this situation when you don't know exactly, for example, I have this situation and you think, what's happened? Because I didn't have bad weather, or maybe you don't, okay, you don't remember well, if you didn't care so much, or I don't know how to say, and you didn't notice something strange, and suddenly this is not there. And you have two DVB cards, one on PC1 and one on PC2. On PC2, I'm speaking on when you have a station which is in nominal mode, yeah? PC1 is reception and PC2 is processing and PC3 analyzing. So the second DVB card on PC2, you have to try to see if the signal it's enter in the DVB card on PC2, yeah, because if it's enter, the signal is coming and it's enter in the PC2, then definitely is the DVB1 card. It's half broken. He cannot send, he cannot power on the LNB because it has this, let's say, facility or functionality. Yeah, it is her role to power on the LNB, and the LNB send the signal. So you have to check the DVB card PC2. Could you please? Okay. Yeah, please start. And if you start, okay, could you please stop just for a second? So, what you have to do, you don't have to put anything on the degraded mode, yeah, like put PC2 working as PC1, and I think, okay, PC2 should be acting also as PC1. I mean, to run telecast, does DVB services and so on. Nothing. You don't have to do that. You disconnect the antenna cable from the PC1, careful there, yeah. And then, careful, you attach the antenna cable to the PC2, to the DVB card on PC2. And be sure it is connected. I mean, this pin, it's enter inside there, yeah, not only to the nuts you are doing that. And then reboot the PC2. Then you log in as root. You need a terminal as root, that is a name point. And you have to run the zap command. Would you please go run the, okay. Okay, stay a while. Vijay, if you could, after I type the command, if you could stop the video, only if I type, or okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, you can stop it for a while and then we'll leave it. Yeah, okay. So the command is zap-s2 -c etc channel.conf. Okay, so, and it's show you more info than FEMA, in fact, because it show you what is inside of the channels, because this is an important configuration file for the UMedcast to read to. Okay, is reading. This is the name of the satellite which I gave you in my first presentation. Then is telling you is the DVB S2, yeah, because must be, because that it's using now. Then the modulation and the frequency of the satellite, the symbol rate, yeah, and this. And why I'm stressed on this? Because if you have, let me tell you what, okay, zap minus S2 is the name of the command, zap, but it's zap, okay. Then is reading the channel conf, yeah. You tell him it is a C band, yeah, yeah, and then you tell the command telling you read the line number 2, minus N2, yeah. So it's display here what is in the line number 2 in the channel conf, yeah. If you, so because here it is another, you can have, I hope you have the right configuration, yeah. This must be you have to find this information, you know, if you have another satellite, another modulation, another frequency or symbol rate, definitely you will get the same input. I mean, no log, nothing. It's like this. I mean, so you have to be sure you have this info in the configuration. To be sure, if you have this configuration, you have to either to be the machine PC2 to be migrated by the TPZ to the new satellite in 2018. Yeah, you have to check this. You have to check this configuration 5 channels conf. If it has on the second line, this it's don't touch, don't, you can only do more or cut etc channel.conf, and you see this. If you have it, then you can run zap minus S2. This command, okay, with space as it is. And now please continue. Vijay, can you run it? Yeah. Okay, so you see, it's a little different, but it gives you the most important information. In our case, because it's here, okay, the antenna is correct point, uncorrectable is 0. You see, for a while in the beginning it's like this, but then it stays 0. It stays 0, bare and uncorrectable. The other RSNR, it's in hexadecimal, so you cannot see the value. But the last 3 columns are also very important, yeah, because if Heslock is not there, uncorrectable is a number and so on, fluctuating, this is not okay, yeah. Could you please let it running? Okay. Yeah. I kill myself the command. And so you run this command, you know you have this in the channel conf, this information, and then if in the DVB card, in the, sorry for a while. Sorry for this. So if you run zap command, as I said, for in the MESA PC2, and you see it's okay, yeah, like you have Heslock, uncorrectable bare, and okay, this is kind of number you see or not see, it is there in hexadecimal format. This means your antenna is okay, and you have on PC1 the card bits half broken. He is not able to power on the LNB. What you can do in this situation? You can do many things, frankly speaking. You can stay as it is also explained on the TPZ manual, and also which Vijay presented, I think yesterday or today, I don't remember well, the degraded mode, how to put it in degraded mode. So you ask PC1 to PC2 to act as PC1, yeah, with telecast. This could be one. Another situation, which is depend on you, of course, if you could, and if you find this to buy, you need a power inserter, which means when this power inserter will power on the LNB, yeah, and doing like that, you can still use DVB card 1. I can send you picture about that because we have cases when he bought and then he was still using PC1, because the other part of the DVB card on PC1 is working as sending signal far to the telecast. This is working, but he is not the DVB card PC1 wasn't able to power on the LNB. So with this power inserter, you can do that. Yeah. Another situation, but this is less situation. Another solution is to split the signal. You split the signal. It's very easy. This, and one cable from there is going to the PC2 and one cable to the PC1. So what you do in this situation? The PC1 will still working as PC1. The advantage, let's say in this situation, advantage, you can still use PC1 as PC1 as it is, because the PC2 card will power on the LNB, and the DVB PC1 card will get the signal for the LNB and then doing job further, sending to the network interface and telecast, doing whatever it is. Okay, this is a situation when it is in inside, yeah, with a DVB card. Another related to the, not to the DVB card, but let's say to the traffic. This was only one time, yeah, I've seen in my experience here. Somebody okay, open the scripts with the VI command, and I guess they haven't been closed in the correct way, and that is some character at the end, yeah. And then didn't work at all. It was a very strange situation in that case, because the signal entered in the machine, but didn't get out, but didn't get further to the interface, and the telecast didn't have anything to read, and he was staying like this, hanging, trying to connect. You see this yellow color on the telecast active channel, connecting, but nothing happened. This is a situation when antenna is okay, LNB is okay, and the cable also is okay. Yeah. So you have this. So it's not easy to discover like this. Is DVB card okay? I will buy another one. I will do something else. when the things are outside, yes, for example, like in this case, yeah, the DVB PC2 is working fine, but you still want also, no, sorry, you run the ZAP command and the DVB card on PC2 doesn't show the correct information, as I explained before. Then it's very likely it is outside. Antenna depointing, many cases I've seen that, and maybe cable because damage or something. You have to check the connector, the connector for corrosion, for rust or something like that. Yeah, but these things from outside, you need someone who is trained for that. If you are not prepared for that, I mean, it's not something we can advise you by phone, or I don't know, something else, even by Zoom, or do that. It doesn't work, really. As I explained yesterday, is someone who is pointing correctly antenna, someone who is using the tools to measure the signal and saying yes, is better, or is not better, and is this communication. And maybe sometimes someone who is like here, for example, we write down the maximum we should get. Just in the future, for example, if we have to do some upgrades and so on, we have to know how the antenna was able to do in the previous situation. Let's say, her best, yeah, to see that is. So is this kind of issue with the DVB card related? So you have to test step by step. You cannot say exactly this and this and this. If let's say third case or fourth case, if everything is fine outside, by measurement, you see, not saying someone, yes, it's okay, you look up the cable. You have to measure. You have to measure also the voltage of the cable. You have to check the antenna to see. We have a case on the birds or insect or inside of the antenna feed. You have to check. You have to be careful with that. So if outside it's okay, yeah, outside it's okay, and inside, let's say both of DVB cards are broken, yeah, then they cannot, broken, you cannot use it like cases when you do the DMS command on the root, it doesn't find the DVB card. It's like it doesn't exist inside. You grab the messages and the DVB, and you do not find. It's not there. The system doesn't recognize. Yeah, so you have to replace it. And for this, you have the option now to replace it with a TBS6903, and the operating system, which is upgraded for this, because it's not only to put the DVB card inside, yeah, like let's say you change the hard disk, let's say, even this is not so easy, but you do not put there and then make a write and so like that. So you have in the software has to be implemented the driver for this specific card, and this is done by TVZ with they are working, in fact, sorry for this, with a new ISO. It's not in 131, the next one, which is, yeah. So this, if you end in the situation where you really need to buy a card, TBS 6903 DVB-S2, should be DVB-S2, yeah. So this is with a DVB card. If you have question or another issue which I saw, this is you can, okay, it's not like with a DVB card. So somehow your EQ, you lost the credential. The EQ, the dongle, has assigned to it a username and a password, and the telecast is working together with a dongle, in fact. So the telecast taking the data is decrypting, helping by the EQ, and so on and so on. They are working together on this. So when you install, for example, or you lose the credential, or I don't know, or you add it in the wrong way in the telecast configuration file, you need to add it. Otherwise, nothing is working. You receive only open data, which basically are SAF data, satellite application facility. data. These are free, some of them, but these are free. And in fact, it is a good check to see when it's not working, that you see it's not working telecast and EQ, you grab for this data. If these data are received and the telecast doesn't have any issue, it's the EQ which has an issue, let's say, and must be changed because doesn't decrypt the other, let's say. So I want to show you in a friendly way how you can add the credential and how can edit, because once you run this command line, then you can add it again if you do a mistake. It's not a problem, is there? Only you have to be careful what you add there as a username and a password should be what you receive from the help desk via email. Usually it's, for example, usually this is sent to the end user when either they lost the EQ, either they have a new account and they receive a new EQ with a new username, and okay, because in an account you can have many EQ, for example. So TPZ created this script, which is, frankly speaking, is very useful and keep you a way to damage it was done to damage the telecast configuration file, because inside of this telecast configuration file, you will see the name after, are not only the information for your EQ, but also the other which telecast needed. So if you change something there, a number, or I don't know, just change, do not do that, please. But if you change something, the telecast will not work because it cannot read this file. In fact, on the ISO and also on all the software which I know before, this kind of file doesn't need to be updated for anything. It is already updated. You only need to add the credential which is particular for you, for your machine or for your EQ. Yeah, like this. Could you please run the script, Vijay? So here, what I did, you can stop for a while. Okay, I'm still okay. I didn't have an example, an email which I should ask I should have asked the user to give me as an example an email, but you have to recognize this on the right side. Username equal with something and password equal with something. Doesn't matter what is after equal, yeah, because there are only characters there. Doesn't mean anything, only character and so on. So when you go this email, this is for your EQ. Yeah, it's not to log into the EO portal. This is something else. Yeah, don't be confused. And then you want to add to your, where is the reception in fact? Because you have to do, frankly speaking, you have to do this, let's say this task also on PC2, in case PC2 will act as reception, because otherwise will not work. Yeah. So would you please run the video? Yeah, and then you know what I'm doing. I think okay, I just for your I write just I type EQ capital and then I just press tab and take everything. Just a small okay. So could you please stop? Yeah, to give. So you see here username. You have to write down there, to type exactly as it is after equal, where it is username equal, blah, blah, blah. I give you here an example as NMS_uname. So no space before, no space after your name, after the last character of uname? Nothing. You type exactly as it is there. Be careful, because sometimes it's really, I mean, I know L, for example, L from the word letter, sometimes it's like pipe, sometimes it's like I, it look like I, and just check what is inside and be sure. I mean, to be sure what are the characters there. It's L, it's I, it's 0 or O or something like that. But this is more easily to distinguish between them. So no space before, no space after, and then just press OK. Yeah. You can run the script, the video. Doesn't run. Okay. Same one. Okay. I move this. Could you please stop? Okay. After you add the username, you will get a new Windows pop-up. Yeah. And then you see it is a user key. Yeah. So you have to add the password. This is a password. And then you have to add what is after equal, password equal, and then in this case is nms_password. I will do that. I don't know. I did it in the. Could you please run the video? Sorry, I forgot to. Okay. And then I will press OK. Again, the same thing. No space before or after. Nothing. It's just this. And you will get. You click OK. OK. You get a message where it is click OK. Yeah. No, EQK has been updated successfully. What I'm trying to say, you will get these messages. Yeah, EQK has been updated successfully, even if you type wrong something there, because these messages is not related to what you added as it is correct. It is related is the script was running correctly. So he was taking the input, whatever it was there, yeah, whatever you added in the first, in the second Windows, and then it added in the configuration file. And he said, I did it. It is successful. But if you think, what I did, maybe it's not correct. Yeah, maybe it wasn't I. It was I don't know. It was L. It's something like that. So it's not a big issue on that. You can add it second time, and now you have to check. Yeah, let's check what we added. Could you please run? I think we finish with this, and then we go to how to check. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes, this. Yeah. Sorry. What I'm doing, I run. Okay, I type more command, and I'm reading the telecast configuration file Africa, because this is important for you. And then I grab user_name. You see, these are, I know, okay, all of you know this is like a variable. Yeah. So I have user_name equal nms_uname. Yes, it's total. And then I check the credential. This is a password, user_key. You see? So I add it correctly. I mean, okay, we add it correctly. Yeah, this means. So I just wanted to tell you these credentials are fake, because they do not exist. So do not try to add to your machine. It doesn't work. They are not registered in our IT. Now, could you please just stop for a little? Yeah, because I have to. After you check and say, yes, it's okay, I did it as it is, as they are in your email, and then you have to reboot the machine, because only add it doesn't mean the telecast when you on anything, but on telecast configuration, if you edit, yeah, you must reboot the machine to make the telecast to read it, or usually I do reboot, yeah, because usually I do, when I install, I do other things, so I just reboot to be sure all the services are. But you can do also, as I show you yesterday, yesterday when we speak about the telecast services, how to stop and start. You can do etc etc then init ec_d.d and then telecast client status, and then you status, and you can do stop and then start or restart, something like that. Yeah, you have in the slide in the previous presentation how you do. So you restart the telecast, and then you go to the telecast interface. Yeah. Could you run the script, the video? Sorry. So in principle, you have to go to the telecast licensee, and don't be confused here, because here you will see other. Yeah. If you could stop the video, Vijay, thank you very much. So here are real credentialer. It is our credentialer for Mesa Station. If I add it, I say, if it was what I added there, yeah. In the meantime, when I did the video, I deleted and I added this. It couldn't work. The telecast didn't work because the other one before, which I presented to how to add it, in fact, doesn't exist. They are not real. In fact, they are fake. So but these are real. So when everything is corrected, because the telecast know this, yeah, because he need a username. He has in the telecast server. You are registered a recipient, yeah, and you have this star. This means the username and the password are matching. They are correctly, yeah. And another thing, after you reboot, you see this. You have host key for many star there and so on. You can go. I don't know if can you run the video, BJ, please? Okay, just I want to mention. Okay. Then you go to the interface and you see here I'm on the telecast channel. Yeah, so you see what is active and is coming. You will see files changing here, the receive bytes and so on. So it is something ongoing. Yeah, so this is okay. So this means you added correctly the credential for the YouTube. If you have question or I think I finished. I don't have any. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody saying anything.
Yeah.
If I wasn't clear or something like that, please tell me. I can repeat. I can explain. I can.
If anybody has some doubt, yeah, please let us know. Yeah, this is also something very specific to PC1. So some of you face these kind of problems frequently. So in order to solve it, you can fix this way. And also it is good that when UMATCAS send you some instruction, you can also follow these videos to do those checks. So yeah, if it is clear, and then we could have an open discussion from the users on the topics. If you want to have some specific thing which we wanted to address, which you thought we will cover, maybe we didn't cover, so we can discuss about those things. So please feel free to raise the message also in the chat, or also with the voice, so feel free to do that. Okay. Yeah, if there is no doubt and no discussion, maybe I give the floor to Meshach. Maybe he wanted to uh, tell you some information on the survey. And also before I close, maybe I could also show you the contents where they are. So the contents are available in the DLP platform under the e-station maintenance and troubleshooting course. If you still have problem to access it, you could also um, do it from the Google Classroom, which I showed yesterday. So maybe I will also share the link in the chat if needed, because I didn't see a lot of people enrolled in it. So maybe if you couldn't find the access, it is also possible to have it here. So just let me know if I have to do that, so that I can give you the access. You can directly join and access all the materials available. And another option is to go to the YouTube playlist where all these videos are grouped in that. And also apart from the maintenance, there is also other videos. Okay. Okay, so Meshach wanted you to fill the survey for the day 2 about the training. So, and let's also hear from Marco if he wants to add some more comment on any of these topics. I know it is also a bit late for you guys, because in most of the cases it is already the late evening.
Yes, well, from my side, I would only say that we appreciated a lot your participation, your interest, and the question you raised. There is still some time if you want to discuss some specific topic. On the other hand, I understand and I realize fully that it's been intense training because we presented really a lot of material. Unfortunately, we couldn't really have exercises because we were missing a bit of the infrastructure of the platform to run the exercises. So we had a lot of presentations, and I understand, I also experienced that is somehow you feel a bit overwhelmed by the information. But nevertheless, I think that these resources are going to stay. So it's not something that you really need now to capture fully, to be able to manage completely. It's also something you can come back when you need something. So I think it's important that you had this overview of all the different resources that are there. And then in the future, you have to perform some of action, like replacing the hard disk or doing the checks on the reception that Simona just presented, or changing the IP addresses. I mean, any of these topics we presented in such dense presentation are there for you to come back to them and run again through them, and then really capture all the steps, the specific operations to be done. So this was just my final remark. As the pity on one hand that we couldn't do like we've done in the past, the classroom where you have much more interaction. You also met people and you start knowing the different people. So you also build some relationships. I think that while we have done our best in order to accommodate the need, it was make no sense really to wait longer, because we don't know how long this situation of restriction due to the pandemic is going to continue. So there was a need that I think that these resources are there, are going to stay, are going to also be improved in some case. So So, well, from my side, I don't have additional comments apart from thanking you for your resilience, your participation, your attention to the training session.
Thank you a lot, Marco and Vijay. I don't know how we can clap for you, but probably I will open up, unmute everyone, and then we can all clap for you. Because of your hard work for the 2 days, we really don't have.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marco. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Simona. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Christoph. Christoph was with us all through. Yeah, and yeah, from my side, it's really to appreciate you as a from the African Union to register our appreciation for delivering this course, which was very timely. As you remember, we had scheduled it for May, and the situation came. We didn't perform it in Nairobi, and we actually had 2 sessions, one in English and one in French. But we quickly adjusted, and thank you for your availability, because it was on short notice, and you were able to put up all the classroom materials, and we quickly liaised, to make sure that the course is done. Well, to our participants, I hope that everyone has, gathered something which is important in their station maintenance. And we just want to hope that if there is, the situation resumes, we will try to see how to organize a classroom training if possible. But I think that this knowledge and skill that you have got from here will carry you along in the maintenance of especially the pertinent issues of the e-station. For those of you who have the e-station already, and those who are waiting for the version of the station, the software itself, you will actually will be training them from next week. Most of them are the mathematicians from your consortium. Not next week, but from Thursday. I would like to quickly, just a minute, to share the screen and show you. I've just please fill this survey, and if you have not filled the other one that we shared the first day, please do so, because they are helping us to on our future trainings, and also to quickly guide you on, because I know you're tired, on the DLP. This is the survey. There are just few questions to give us a feedback. Most of them are actually choice questions, so you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Please endeavor to get the better for us. Come here to the main interface of the DLP, and I will, because I also created my another account, I will quickly demonstrate. Okay, your username is your email address, your primary email address that you used, and it's all lowercase. Then your I will type the password here for your sake, so that you can see. It is GMES Africa at DLP1. Most of you, this is your username, but if you have already changed, please use your current use your current password. Well, I hope that most of you have been able to access the course itself, because I saw well, a lot of you actually accessed the course. We are seeing the number 15 because those who have accessed the course, they didn't open the materials. But I noticed that most of the people that are in the DLP have already accessed, at least accessed the course itself, meaning that they can continue with the training or the materials or any other course that they want to explore. But if you have not, we still urge you to continue, exploring these materials. I see that we have about 80, registered participants. As you can see, most of you have actually accessed the course most of you yesterday. It's only a few who have not accessed it, and I hope that they will come quickly to make use of the materials. Well, other than that, and if you have any other question, feel free to reach us through email. We'll be available. Other than that, I don't know if there is any quick feedback from any of you in the platform so that we close the training. Okay, I don't see any feedback from the floor. Well, as I said, if you have, okay, can someone outside register on the DRP? Yes, please register from, if you're registering from outside, it will notify me if you have created the account, and then you can, forward me the, no, I can actually get a notification through the GMES email, and I will be able to authorize or enroll you in any course that you would like to. But if I have not reacted for some time, you can remind me through an email, and I will do that. Well, apart from that, I don't have a lot to keep you for the day, and I just want to really thank you and to wish you a nice evening. And well, if I am sure another opportunity will arise when we'll have an extra training, and I will keep you informed. So give us your feedback and tell us, the areas that you need your capacity more reinforced, and we'll do our best to organize that. So thank you so much and have a nice evening.
Thanks a lot, Meshach. The same for you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Ciao.
Thank you, team.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Have yourself a great one.
Take care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See you. See you.
Bye-bye.
Very soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you.